All right, even though Veterans Day isn't until November, it's always the season to honor our vets. Allen Bialek is a veteran. He comes from a family of veterans and has spoken on behalf of all veterans. So welcome, Allen. Nice to have you here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here. It really is.
You consider talking to people about being a veteran, this is a passion for you, isn't it?
Yeah. It started when my 8-year-old godson came up to me and said, "Uncle Al, what is a veteran?" If you go to parades, it's about the candy and the fire trucks. If you go to a veterans luncheon, it's all us vets. Well, I don't have to tell another vet what being a veteran is. And if I go to schools, it's a page in a history book. So, but the passion and the personality of a veteran just isn't there. So I've been on this journey, knocking on doors, schools and everything else to teach our young and current generations about our veterans.
Now, you're from Michigan, but you just did have an opportunity to speak to a class in Hamburg, right?
I grew up here. I'm a Broadway Bailey boy. I went to St. John Canty Church and Burgard Vocational High School, and I visit here once a year, and I try to touch as many schools and organizations as I possibly can. And I believe what I'm doing in the country, nobody else is doing. I don't represent a company, organization, or an individual. I'm not a 503(c) charity or foundation. I don't fundraise. I do this all by myself. And I try to teach about veterans. I try to teach about character building, citizenship. But I also do personal growth workshops. I do women's empowerment workshops, the top 10 things I've learned in my life. And based on the money my wife gives me, Pamela, 50 years, and my daughter, Kimberly, I get 20 bucks a week, and I try to do this all by myself. And I was fortunate enough to win an Emmy Award at age 70, based on this program that I've created. I've been recognized by the President of the United States, the Ronald Reagan Library, the Stars and Stripes military newspapers, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And all I'm trying to do is give back for my brothers and sisters who never had the opportunity, like I had, to be a father and a citizen and be in this beautiful country.
What do you think people need to know about someone who is a veteran?
Well, what I try to teach young kids, it's really about citizenship, that somebody sacrificed for you. And it doesn't have to be a veteran. It could be a family member that came here, like my great aunt in 1909, and sacrificed to give me that opportunity. So how do we every day wake up and manage our life with their sacrifice that they gave us, if they're looking down at us? I did a group at Saint Church in Novi, Michigan. A woman came up to me and said, "Mr. Al, I'm a psychic medium." And she says, "When you started, I saw men and women in uniform dress up, walk in the room, and stand behind you."
Oh my.
Now, if they're watching me, and if there is some place after this, how do we show our conduct for those beautiful men and women that gave us the place we have today? And
you were telling me by speaking to children, the kids want to know this information, don't they? They just suck it up.
Absolutely. There's children that will come up to me and say, "Mr. Al, I'm 8 years old. My grandfather just passed away. He was a World War II veteran. I miss him so much. But you made me know what kind of a man he was." And we're not talking about, but having a veteran do it. And I was fortunate. Not my father was a disabled veteran, and my uncle and many of my family weren't, didn't have that opportunity. And having these kids know that their family members sacrificed for them is really cherishing. It really is.
What can we do for our veterans to help them?
Is vote. The two things that I tell people at the end of my speech is: one, vote, get involved in your government. Our democracy only represents 4% of the whole world. That means 96% of the world is trying to change us. And the other thing is, the best way to honor our veterans and your family members is your conduct. Treat everybody as the most important person in the world. In their eyes, they are. You both will benefit from it.
Wow. Listen, I think we benefited just from having you back in Western New York and being able to speak, and we hope that you'll come on back, and we hope that you'll be doing more public speaking here in Western New York.
If I could have just one quick shout out.
Please, go ahead.
The city of Novi, who's supported me, and especially Chief Malloy, our Chief of Police, the Buffalo and Erie County Library, Paul Marizzello and his staff, Veterans Affairs, David Shank, Allie, I love you, Uncle Al loves you. And I want to thank WKBW-TV Last year, you guys invited me. This year is the same thing. You have a special place in my heart. This is my first TV interview ever.
And you did great.
So
you
God
aced
bless.
it. You
No,
aced
thank
it.
you. No,
And thank you for your service.
No, it's an honor and pleasure. Thank
We'll
you
be
very
right
much.
back. Allen Bialek, everybody.